As you may have seen, Morrisec once again breezed through their 27001 audit with many thanks to MRP. Did you know that MRP allows you to manage your 27002 controls easily so that you can track where you are with implementation, whether a control has been tested, and even things like who owns the control. You can even manage your statement of applicability using MRP. Let's have a quick look now. Clicking on ISO IEC 27001, you can see it takes me to the controls listed under 27002, which is great, but it doesn't really tell you what you need to implement the control to the standards of an internal and external audit. But wait, MRP allows you to drill down further to find out exactly what the control requires. Let's use A.5.11 as an example, return of assets. By clicking on the control, I get a description and a purpose, which is great in helping me understand the what and why. I can now drill down even further under controls. And it states that return of assets should be outlined in my onboarding and offboarding procedure and employee contracts. This is what MRP recommends, but you may decide to have return of assets documented in a mandatory policy instead of the employee contract. For example, your acceptable use policy. Easy. Just click Add Existing Control, search for the policy, and select Add. Now, during the audit, when it comes to 5.11, you can click on Controls and show your auditor where the control is addressed. There you go, Acceptable Use Policy. We can now get rid of employee contracts. Now, during the audit, when you come to A.5.11, you can click on the controls and show your auditor where the control is addressed. We can also drill down even further, and I can see who owns the control, who ensures the control is carried out, and you can even link evidence for your auditor. In this example, I've just written in documentation link, I'm going to link my policy, and in other documentation, I'm going to link a sample completed offboarding form because I know that's what the auditor is going to ask for. Another great feature is implementation method. For those of you not too sure what you should be doing or where you should address things, implementation method provides advice on this for you. This is not something I have created just to show you. This comes installed in your MRP instance. Just think of all the time you will save and how organized you will be for your next audit. If I jump back under General, I can see that my control implementation is in progress, and it will remain in progress until I've implemented all the controls. As soon as I implement the acceptable use policy, you can see the control implementation changes to in place, and I know that I'm ready to be audited against 5.11. One of the other many things I love about MRP is that this will now update across all relevant controls. So anywhere that requires the acceptable use policy will now be updated to state the policy is in place. For example, 5.1. In place. The last thing I want to show you today is how simple it is to create your Statement of Applicability or SOA. As you go through each of the controls, you can click on SOA and it will prompt you to state whether the control is applicable. In most cases, it's going to be yes. In the example of return of assets, do staff get given assets to do their job? Yes. Do we need to have those assets back when they leave? Yes. So return of assets is applicable. So I would leave applicable as yes. Is it a business requirement? Yes, it is. As a business, we require assets to be returned. Did this come up at a risk at any time? No, it hasn't. Staff are very good at following the offboarding procedure in this example, and all assets are accounted for. So this is not a risk. If it had been identified as a risk, I could toggle to yes and link the risk from MRP's risk register. Nor is it a compliance obligation. We are not required under legislation, and none of our clients have told us we must ensure assets are returned. And there you have it. If it was not applicable, I would switch the toggle and get prompted for a reason why it wasn't applicable. This is really, really important for those controls that are not applicable, and you should provide a detailed reason as to why it is not applicable. But for now, we can keep it as applicable. For those of you who require your SOA in Excel spreadsheet, easy. Go into your statement of applicability, export to Excel, allow, and there you have it. I love MRP.